In our journey through multi-step equations, there's one more topic that we need to make ourselves aware of. Most of the time when we are solving equations, we will be left with a variable equaling one single value, one solution. So we are very used to solving our equations and there being only one solution that would make our equations true. But we're about to find out that you are going to face some equations where there is not just one solution. There might be many solutions, and there could also be actually no solution at all. So what I want you to look is we have three options that are going to happen. I just mentioned the three of these. We could have one solution, no solution, or we could have infinitely many solutions. And that word infinitely, you all know, means go on forever. So that means we could have solution after solution after solution and have an endless number of them to satisfy our equation. Our job is going to be to start to solve and try to solve our equations and to identify which one of these situations we have going on. The best way to show you is just to get started, and you will have an understanding as you see all four of these equations unfold. I've taken bits and pieces of the same equation and you'll see similarities in these four, but I've changed some things so I can make the point to you. So let's look at the top left, the first one up there. I'm going to draw my wall, and you know by now, going through my checklist, I have to do the distributive property first if it's there, and it is. I have 2 times x, which is 2x, and I have 2 times 4, which is positive 8. I'm going to bring down equals 2x and then my plus 8. Now, are you noticing anything about what our equation turned into? Hopefully you are. Do you see that the left-hand side is the same as the right-hand side? So what do you think is going to happen as I try to whittle away, isolating my variables to solve this equation? Well, let's see. So if I follow my procedure, my checklist, I know the next thing I want to do is to gather those variables on the same side. So that means get rid of the variables from one of the sides. Since they're both the same, it doesn't matter which one I try to get rid of. I'll say I'm going to subtract this 2x, and of course I need to do the same over here. So what's about to happen? Well, you will see that we are left with 8 equals 8. And that is absolutely true. However, we have no variables left. This is actually an example when there's infinitely many possibilities. I'm going to write that on there. You might want to be writing these down as examples in your notebook so you have them to look at while you're working. But what that means is it doesn't matter what I say x is. It can be any number and this equation will still be true. So let's test that out. Let's just say I say x is 6. So if I put a 6 in for x, that's 6 plus 4 is 10, and 2 times 10 is 20. If I put a 6 in for this x, 2 times 6 is 12, plus 8 is 20. So 20 equals 20. So that was just coming up randomly with the value of 6. Let me try -1. If I say x is -1, -1 plus 4 is 3. 2 times that 3 is 6. 2 times -1 is -2. Plus 8 is 6. So you can see just by those two short examples that any value I put in for x is going to make that equation true. Therefore, there is an infinite number of solutions that we have. X can be anything in this particular equation. It was a giveaway, darlings, when I saw right away that I had 2x plus 8 over here and 2x plus 8 over there. That is a giveaway. If you have the exact same thing on the left-hand side of your equal sign as you do on the right, then that means we can have any value substituted in for x and our equation will be true. So that is our example of an equation that will have infinitely many solutions. And I probably should put solutions with this. So moving on to my second example, I'm going to draw my wall. Going to do my distributive property. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 4 is 8. Equals x minus 8 on the other side. I do not have the same thing on both sides this time, so let's keep going and see what we end up with. Nothing, no like terms to combine, so I'm going to try to gather my x's on one side by getting rid of the smaller of the two. So I'm going to subtract x, or subtract 1x from this side, therefore subtracting 1x from that side. That leaves me with x plus 8 equals negative 8. I need to isolate that x by subtracting 8 from both sides, and I end up with x equals negative 16. Well, according to our three choices, I either have one solution, no solution at all, or infinitely many. And hopefully you're thinking, well, we came out with exactly one value that x can be. So because of that, that looks like our normal equations we've been solving. That's because there is only one solution. There is only one value, negative 16, that x could possibly be. Moving on down to the third example, draw my wall, distribute 2x plus 8 equals 2x minus 8. When I go through my checklist and try to do the next step, I know I need to gather my x's on one side, so that means I'm going to get rid of them from one of the sides. They're both the same. They're both 2x, so therefore I'm going to subtract 2x. And I do the same over here. That leaves me with 8 equals negative 8. Now, is that true? Is a positive 8 the exact same value equal to negative 8? And the answer to that is no, it is not. So what do you think our solution is here? Well, there is no solution. So if you end up with variables that are all gone and you have two values that are not equal to each other, that is not true. So therefore that means there is no solution to that equation. I'm going to go through that last example that I have here. I'm going to draw my wall, distribute 2 times x to x. 2 times 4 is 8 equals x plus 8 on the other side. I'm going to gather my x's together on one side by getting rid of this guy. So subtract 1x here, subtract 1x on the other side. That leaves me with x plus 8 equals 8. I'm going to try to isolate my x by subtracting 8, and I have to do the same over here. So I end up with x equals 0. So what do you think? So many times when we get to this exact example or this point in time, this topic, my kiddos automatically want to call this no solution. They see a 0 and they think, oh, nothing, no solution. But that is not true. We actually did get a solution for x. 0 is a number, it's a digit. We're allowed to have a solution of 0. X is allowed to be 0. As a matter of fact, there is only one value that x could possibly be. We just proved that x can only be 0. So how many solutions are there? There is one solution. So don't be that person. When you solve your equation and you get a value of 0 for your variable, it is allowed. There is exactly one solution, and that solution is 0. So really quickly in review, we've got our three choices. We have one solution, and that's when x can be just one thing. We solve our equation like normal and we get one value for our variable. We can have no solution, and that is when we have the variables gone. We've gotten rid of them, and the only thing left are two values that are not equal to each other, making that equation not true. Therefore, there is no solution. And then last but not least, our third choice is having infinitely many. And that is when we end up with the same thing on the left as we do on the right. And that means that no matter what we put in for our variable, it will be true. So we have an infinite number of solutions for our variable.